Alright, today we're at Hawthorne Mall. We're going to visit the B-Hop Esports gaming community. We were working on some DDR boards, and I personally delivered them. I don't usually do service calls. I was so interested in this, I had to come up and see it, and let's get in and take a look. Yeah, the repairs I did on the boards didn't work for whatever reason. Fortunately, we found a second board that was working, so I took it with me, took it back to the bench, and did a bunch of comparisons. So we're going to see if it made any difference. All right, today we're going to be wrapping up this Dance Dance Revolution, these input-output boards. Let's take a look at the bench. Okay, so the last time we were here, I had to repair this trace damage from somebody trying to replace a Schmidt trigger, and wound up fixing all the traces and putting a socket in just because we could. So I'm not sure why they're focused on the Schmidt triggers failing, because we're going to do a quick analysis of how these work and what they're doing and why I don't think that was the problem to begin with. So let's go to beat mode, and the Schmidt triggers has a VCC and a ground. So there's our ground. We got a good ground. They've all got a good ground. So our ground's fine there. Let's go to volts. Let's hook our positive on and our negative on. And maybe get the wires out of your way. All right. So let's power this on. And I'm pulling about 100 milliamps. If we look at our 12 volts on our regulator, our 5 volts out, we've got 5 volts on the Schmidt triggers. So we're giving power and we're getting ground, right? So all these do is, what you've got here is these 4 channels that do the up, down, left, right, and in some order like that. And what you've got is a common line, then you've got the front, back, left, and right switches that are under each channel. The other 2 lines are for the LEDs. So all we need to do is short these 2 to make our switch. Okay. So I know I'm making because I can see the amps changing. So we know that pin 4 So pin 4 and 5 are one pair of Schmidt triggers for this. We've got 4, 6, 8, and 10. So pin 4, pin 5 is the power, and pin 4 is the other side of the trigger. So if I short these 2, it's triggered. If I go to pin 6 and then I short the next 2, it's triggered. If I go to 8, which is our 3rd line, it triggers. And so we can see our Schmidt triggers are operating the way they're supposed to. What doesn't seem to have been operating properly was the Opto couplers. Because I wound up taking this one off, running it through a test, and I've got one bad side here. This whole one, there's 4 opto couplers in this one chip. This one here has failed. I was able to find that by taking it out of circuit. Now, everybody's got their own little favorite way of testing opto couplers, opto isolators, and you use which way you like to. So what I had done here was I had taken it off, I put a socket on, and then I originally, because we weren't sure how quickly I was supposed to get this back to them, so I hung the bad edge off of here and I put another optocoupler that I had on hand, even though we were waiting to see if the new ones were going to come in. So let's pull this off here and I'll show you what I found. Let's get this guy off first. So this is a good one. It's just another one I had that was very similar rating. Alright, so here's the original 4-piece optocoupler. And I'll show you one way I test them. I've tried a lot of the ways with the battery, LED, analog meters, bolt. I've tried them dozens of different ways, but I'll show you what I did with this one to find it bad. So let's first try a good one. We'll go on this end. Oh, let's go the other side. So we'll go on the LED. So we're reading the LED. So this LED is right now lighting inside. What you've got is a LED on one side and a collector emitter on the other side. And it's waiting to be triggered on. So I like this little component tester. You get a lot of use out of them. They're very good there, especially for identifying. Gives you a lot of specifications on it. So right now we've got the LED lit and we're going to test it. And you can see it's showing a diode. Now if I disconnect it and I test it, it doesn't know, I can't find it. So let's go to the bad channel and I'll show you that it does not read it. You can see we're reading our LED, unknown or damaged part. So this end opto isolator does not work. And if it hadn't been for the schematics and some other help I got, I'm not sure at what point I would have found that. So we've got a couple things. I need to get this in here and we need to get this board back up there and try this thing out. So we're going to take our bad one that we know we've got 3 good channels on, just in case. And this other one we'll take with just for happiness. And we've got a bunch of these optocouplers we're going to take with. So let's just populate this thing up. We're going in number 1 pin. And you can see, if you see underneath here, this silk screen, there was actually 5 independent ISO couplers that they were looking to put in here, but they wound up going with the full package. And these you can check the same way. Let's check one of these before we do it. LED side's going to be on the number 1 pin side. Red there, black there. We're reading our diode. Okay, so we've got our LED lit. You can see it reading the diode. We'll put it on our component tester. And again, we can see it's testing good diode. So we're lighting up the diode with this one, the LED, and we're reading our other side on the optocoupler with this component tester. That tested good. So we can populate this up. We can get ready to go over there and drop this off and see it work. Alright, so we've got this back together, both these boards ready to go. Everything's measured out. I've tested them. I've half mapped this board. Again, thanks to the guy who started mapping out the schematic. It was a good help, even though it wasn't completely finished. Thanks to Odell for sending that to us. So what this means now is if you've already clicked off, you're going to miss the good stuff, because now we're heading up there and we're going to see if this thing works this time. Okay, we're here. Let's go in. Wish us luck. Pretty cool. There he is. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Yeah. I need to rotate the lamp a little bit, but. Yeah, have an up arrow.
There we go. We have an up arrow.
Left.
Does anyone know how to log into my Xbox account? Because I have the old type Xbox. I have the Game Pass open, so it should be okay.
No, you don't have it plugged in.
Oh, I don't even have this one plugged in. That's right. No, that's not. Left. Up. Right. No. Up. Right. Left. Down. Holy shit.
Fantastic.
No.
You saw it flash.
What's that? What's that? What's that?
Look at
We're
this
done.
shit. Look at this shit.
You are amazing.
There's Joe, the owner.
10 out of 10.
Ken, the tech.
5-star review.
And we got it going.
Love it.
am I at?
Absolutely love it. Now we just got to
And we
reassemble
got
it,
it
screw
going.
everything together, and
Amazing.
then we're ready for